trip to South Africa. You know, people actually accuse me that you work all year through, you don't take a break. Why don't you take a break? Don't you think that is good for you, etc., etc.? I said, okay, so this year, why can't we take a break? And I want to take a break. I've done a lot of inland traveling. Don't get it wrong. Domestic tourism has always been my thing. I've traveled to wherever you think in Ghana that is popping, that has to be seen. I've gone there. I've seen it. I've seen Kusha. I've gone to Yeji. I've gone to Paga. I've gone to all the places. So this year I'm deciding to go out of Ghana, and South Africa is the place that I want to go to. We call it the 3FM Getaway. And before you think of anything, please pick up your phone and call this number 053 1100927. 053 1100927. 053 1100927. It's a getaway. And it's not just a travel where you pay $2,699 for single occupancy and $2,399 if you want to share. But you also get a chance for a visa facilitation, which will be very, very fast. You also get a trip from Accra to South Africa and back. You also get round trip from Cape Town to Johannesburg and back. You also get breakfast and lunch. You also get to hang out with people at the biggest wine festival. You can think about a WineX event, taste all sorts of wine that is properly made from South Africa. If you're a business person as well, B2B networking, agro-business processing, food processing, techno, telco, fintech, manufacturing, financial services, event marketing and advertising, IT and software, all of it will be taken care of. And you get to sleep in a very, very good hotel as well. Accommodation will be sorted and many other things. The fun will be exciting. So let's go to South Africa. 053 1100 927. 053 1100927. Let's go to South Africa together, shall we? And we will have a lot of fun there. That's where the official shutdown party for Johnny's birthday will be. So let's go to South Africa. Now, I drive through town and I thought I was the only one observing. But I see a lot of dead traffic lights. And each time we buy credit or pay for those who still use postpaid meters. And I'm told most of the big men in this country, they use postpaid meters. They push their people to come and forcefully install prepaid meters for us, and they use postpaid meters. I'm telling you. Now, I was driving to town and I thought, was I the only one observing that the traffic lights were not working? This particular traffic light is at the junction of the president's home. Ninima. There's one around the Ridge area in Accra, the Ridge Hospital area. It's not working. Just keep the traffic light photo there. Just keep it there. And I think this one is from Dansoman Junction. The traffic lights are just not functioning. And I don't know in any serious country where you have such a chaotic situation, because drivers naturally would not allow common sense to prevail. Everybody wants to go, especially at an intersection. And yet we're paying people to go to work this morning, to take their bath, to tell their families they are going to work, to eat breakfast, and to return, and the traffic light will still not be working. So the question is, when they pay them at the end of the month, what would they have done to have deserved that amount of money? Because the Minister of Education is busy telling SITAC that you didn't appear in classroom, so we cannot pay you. Meanwhile, that same minister has been on the campaign trail with Dr. Bawumia. Should we deduct from his salary the days that he was not also present at the office? The principle must be one. But this dead traffic light actually causes a lot of unfortunate situations on our roads, accidents, dead traffic. It's a very, very painful situation. Traffic lights that are not functional. And it's not just in Accra, because I asked my guys in Kumasi to also check, and they told me it's actually even worse in the Ashanti region. I don't know about the northern region. I don't know about Wa. I don't know about Bolgatanga. I don't know about, some other places. I don't know. Takrady, Sekondi, I don't know. But I'm just putting this there so that whoever it is, whose job it is to fix traffic lights, will just wake up and for a single day do his work or her work as a fixer of traffic lights. When you move from there, you go to street lights. These days, all you see are people driving with highlights, as if everybody is blind. We are not blind, though. People just want to be safe. So everybody is driving with highlights. So you ask yourself the question, that 1% that is deducted whenever you buy your credit and they say for street lighting, where does the money go? Who takes the money? And what do they use the money for? And the people who work at these places where the traffic lights ought to be fixed, what have they been doing? I'm just putting this picture up there to make a representation of the entire sorry situation. Let's go to the OSP's office. Now, the OSP is playing a Game of Thrones with Cecilia Adapa. They are playing a Game of Thrones. A typical Ajana 1, Ajana 2, a typical Kwani, a typical Emoy. Did you play Emoy when you were a child? That's what they're playing. Now read. Press release. Cecilia Adapa. The Office of the Special Prosecutor has complied with the ruling and order of the High Court, Accra, dated the 31st of August, 2023, by unfreezing the frozen bank accounts and investments of Cecilia Adapa. The OSP has also returned the seized cash sums of Ms. Dapa in the presence and assent of Ms. Dapa and her lawyers. And if you remember, the amount is $590,000 and then 2.7 million Ghana cedis and some coins. Now, the satisfaction by the OSP of the order of the High Court terminates the proceedings of the seizure, right, of a bank accounts and investments effected from the 26th of July 2023. However, the investigations by the OSP in respect of Ms. Dapa, suspected to be for the suspended corruption and corruption-related offenses involving the ownership and sources of large amounts of money associated with Ms. Dapa, has been and is still ongoing. Subsequent to the indicated ruling of the High Court and the compliance by the OSP with the said ruling and order, the ongoing investigation by the OSP of Ms. Dapa has uncovered varying and sometimes conflicting accounts of the ownership and sources of the large amounts of money reportedly stolen from her residence, the cash amount seized from her by the OSP, and the nature and volume of transactions in her bank accounts and the investments. Consequently, subsequent to the indicated ruling and order of the High Court and the compliance by the OSP with said ruling and order, the special prosecutor considers that the freezing the bank accounts and investment of Cecilia Dapa is necessary to facilitate the ongoing investigation. Therefore, the special prosecutor has invoked his statutory power under Section 38(1) of Act 959 and Regulation 19(1) of LI 2374 by directing the freezing of the bank accounts and investment of Ms. Dapa effective September 5, 2023. So they returned the money and they took the money again. Further, subsequent to the indicated ruling and order of the High Court and the compliance by the OSP with said ruling and order, the special prosecutor considers that he has reasonable grounds to suspect that cash amount seized from and returned to Ms. Dapa is tainted property, and it is necessary to exercise the power of seizure to prevent the concealment or loss of such cash amounts. Therefore, the special prosecutor has again invoked his statutory power under Section 32(1)(a) of Act 959 by directing the seizure from Ms. Dapa of the cash amount previously seized from her. Authorized officers of the OSP have seized said cash amounts from Ms. Dapa. That's signed by Kisei Jabin, is the special prosecutor. And he took this action on my birthday. You know, when the late Majora Mate was alive, there was an advert on, was it Starcase or so, where he went into the dormitory and says, I've seized it. That's what the OSP is doing with the money. I've seized it. Because there's the wild public sentiment. Not that the money has been stolen. I've always said that, no, don't go ahead and say that the money is stolen money. Don't go ahead and say that. I've always said that don't rush to say that the money is ill-gotten. But by all means, be worried about the fact that Madam Cecilia Dapaah, as a cabinet minister in charge of gender, children, and social protection, actually also had the opportunity to sit in cabinet to take decisions to collapse the banks, which they call cleanups. And they came back to tell us that, oh, the banks have done a lot of fantastic job, that the banks are now clean for us to go and put our monies there. In Tiaban is saying for us to have found such huge sums of amounts of money in the home of Madam Cecilia Abena Dapaah. That's the conversation I want us to have. That if you tell me that you have cleaned up the banks, and then you tell me that the banks are safe to keep my money in, and then you, the big men and big women, are keeping your monies in your homes, then how do you want us to proceed? I've also said that if we don't take care, and the bad guys start getting the indication that the big men and the big women, MPs, DCEs, CEOs, board chairman, whatever it is, they all keep their monies at home and not at the banks. They will now go and rob bullion vans and kill police people like we saw at Ablekuma, and which we see those same makeshift bullion vans being used in town after all the plenty talk and posthumous promotions. They will now come to their homes to come and collect a share of their monies. There we will have politicians telling us to make some noise. I repeat myself. If the bad guys out there get the indication or the faintest idea that the big men keep their monies at home and not at the banks, as they have directed and asked all of us to go and do same, if they get that indication, they will no longer go and attack bullion vans and kill innocent police people, maybe ill-trained who are not ready for combat and operational duties because they didn't train for the full haul. They were brought in as protocol police or political police, as we have seen COP Mensah and Superintendent Asari to have shown on national TV wearing Yomo. We don't know what is inside Yomo and police uniform, but we saw it on TV. Maybe they had to explain. The bad guys will now come to the homes of the big men. And that puts every single big man, including those who have genuinely gotten their monies from building their factories and their industries right from scratch. It's a dangerous precedent. And so far, the posture of the government that hasn't frowned on Madam Cecilia Dapaah keeping such huge amounts of money at home. And we went to Madam Cecilia Dapaah's hometown. The commentary there is not palatable. So when she comes there, he says, hello, hello, hello. That's all she comes to tell the people. Joining people to complain that she also doesn't have money. That's what the people are saying in the village. And the people are beginning to wonder if we are the same persons going to IMF to go and collect such huge amounts of money. When we have monies under bed, this is just one minister, and people are even saying that, oh, this is the sanitation minister. Then what could the finance minister have? Then what could the energy minister have? Then what could the national security minister have? Then what could the defense minister have? Then what could the interior minister have? Then what could the lands and natural resources minister have? Then what could the information minister have? People are now asking. And when people start thinking along those lines, if you're a big man, you have to be scared. Because a wrong precedent had been set, and you become an immediate target if care is not taken. Now you know your police service is also politicized. You have a COP and a superintendent who are on air and washing dirty linen in public, and there are others who are also either supporting the IGP faction or supporting the COP Mensah faction. It's a shame how low we have sunk the image of the police service. And it all borders on security. I said there are 5 things you can't politicize. We have unfortunately politicized all of it. All of it. Let's go to the judiciary. Now I'll give you just a list of the judges and who appointed them. Whatever you do with that information, do with it, because John Mahama is said to have made a comment that his lawyers in the NPP should be interested in also sitting at the bench. People have said that it is an unfortunate, somebody put it on Twitter, the way he was dressed on Twitter, that it is unfortunate to have come from John Mahama. But then, what is wrong with aspiration? That I work as a lawyer. I know that after a certain number of years, I could go to the magistrate court. I know that at some point, I could go to the circuit court. I know that after some time, I could be elevated to the high court. After some time of practice and experience, I could be elevated to the appeal court or court of appeal. I could be elevated also to the Supreme Court after a number of years. And it's stated clearly in the Constitution. I think it's 12 years, 15 years, 10 years, and so on and so forth. So what is wrong with aspiration? That I want to also go to the Supreme Court. And John Mahama says he wants to balance the situation. People say, oh, no. So this is from the Independent Ghana. It's an online paper. Supreme Court judge, year of appointment, appointer. This is what I'm ending with. AKB Ampia, January 1993, Jerry John Rawlings. EDK Ajabeng, February 1995, Jerry John Rawlings. Francis Pega, January 1993, Jerry John Rawlings. George Kingsley Aqua, November 1995, Jerry John Rawlings. Sophia Kufu, November 1995, Jerry John Rawlings. Isaac K. Amwa, November 1995, Jerry John Rawlings. William Atuguba, November 1995, Jerry John Rawlings. John Deborah Sapon, April 1999, Jerry John Rawlings. Josiah Ofori Boating, April 1999, Jerry John Rawlings. Theodore Ajo, November 2000, Jerry John Rawlings. George Lamte, November 2000, Jerry John Rawlings. Kwame Afre, Justice Dixon Kwame Afre, March 2022, John Ajekum Kufuor. Then we go now to Georgina Theodora Wood, November 2002, John Ajekum Kufuor. Samuel Glenn Baidu, November 2002, John Ajekum Kufuor. Stephen Alan Brobe, November 2022, John Ajekum Kufuor. Sechum, November 2022, John Ajekum Kufuor. And Simeon Kluje, May 2003, John Ajekum Kufuor. Samuel Badate, Prof. September 2003, John Ajekum Kufuor. Teria Modu Okran, May 2004, John Ajekum Kufuor. Richard Hinakwa, October 2004, John Ajekum Kufuor. Julius Ansam, October 2004, John Ajekum Kufuor. Felix Latte, October 2004, John Ajekum Kufuor. Sophia Dinra, May 2006, John Ajekum Kufuor. Samuel Kodo Asiama, March 2006, John Ajekum Kufuor. Enin Yeboah, June 2006. That's all of them. All of them to June 2000. So Ninyeboa, Jos Doche, Paul Bafo Boni, Rose Constance Owusu, they were all appointed by John Ajekum Kufuor. Vida Kuto Banfo in 2009, John Evans Atamils, Benjamin Aite, same year 2009, John Evans Atamils, Nasiru Badegbe, John Evans Atamils, October 2009. Then we come to Joseph Akamba, November 2012, John Mahama, Anthony Benin, November 2012, John Mahama, Yawapao, June 2015, John Mahama, Gabriel Pwamang, June 2015, John Mahama, Nene Amegacha, October 2018, Nana Akufo-Addo, Agnes Dadzi, October 2018. So 2018 series, Agnes Dadzi, Ni Ashikote, Professor Samo Mafusa, the late October 2018, all by Nanado. Maria Mawusu, December 2019, Avril Lovelace Johnson, Gertrude Tokonu, December 2019, Akufo-Addo. Isifu Imoro, Tanko, Amadu, May 2020, Akufo-Addo. Clemens Jackson, Honyenuga, 2020, May, Akufo-Addo. Joy Henrietta Mensah-Bonsu, May 2020, Akufo-Addo. Yoni Kulendi, May 2020, Akufo-Addo. And then we come to December 2022, the two Barbara Frances Akayensu, and then Samuel Kwame Adibu Asiedu, Akufo-Addo. George.
Water is life. Water gives life. Water moves through nature in a never-ending cycle. Observe the beauty of water as it flows all around us, refreshing and restoring. Gaze in wonder at the stillness and beauty of nature. There's harmony in nature everywhere around. Water revitalizes the body,